Hello, hello, hello. So we're back this time trying to find missing sides using trig, which is kind of useful because it means that you don't really have to measure anything anymore. And actually it's a lot more accurate than measuring because you can stuff up with a ruler quite easily. But if you're using trig, the only stuff up's on your calculator. So it often makes it more accurate measurements. So I put a wee cartoon here. I thought it was quite funny. By now you've probably read it and you're going, oh, Miss Wilson. Your humor is so sad. All right. Okay, so let's get going here. Okay, so finding a side from a triangle. Good job. What you need to know in order to find a side is you need to know one angle and one other side. Okay, that's all you need. So we've got a triangle out in the wild here. There he is. Now, if you have a look, the first thing you should do is draw it. So I've already drawn it here. Even if it's in your textbook or on a worksheet, you should put it in your book because you're going to need to label it. Okay, so the 7 here, pretty sure that's the hypotenuse, right? And the K, if you have a look, it's touching the right angle and the 30 degrees. So that would make it the adjacent. Now, because I've got the hypotenuse and the adjacent, if I think about SOHCAHTOA, that means that adjacent and hypotenuse fits with car, doesn't it? So it's going to be cosine. There we go. All right. Okay. Not a bad idea to write SOHCAHTOA at the top of your page too, just in case. It's much easier to look at it and do a tick off. Okay, so there's my formula. Now you must always write the formula down. It's just you know the rules. Okay. Partly plagiarism, partly so you fill it in right. So I'm going to put some information in here. So the 30 is going to go beside the where the A was, because that's the angle, and the 7 is actually in the hypotenuse. So you see I've put it down where the hypotenuse goes. Be very careful filling in these formulas. Okay, and then here's the cool thing. When you have a number on the bottom here, okay, the easiest way to deal with it is to multiply up to the front. Okay, so that's what's happened here. Now, interestingly enough, normally when I load it into my calculator, I'm going to load it in as 7 times cos 30, rather than the way it's written here. Either or is good. I tend to put it in this way just because it stops you doing something silly on your calculator. And cool, that side's 6.1 centimeters, not a ruler in sight. Got it? Let's move on. Okay, ooh, here's a second triangle wandering in the wild. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. I've got 50-degree angle. I've got 4 centimeters on one side and R on the other. Interesting, I have no information about the hypotenuse. Okay, very, very common. All right, so let's go on and label. Now, I think the 4 centimeter is on the adjacent side. There's no curve around the 50, but if you put one on, it makes it really obvious, right? And the R is on the opposite. Okay, so there we go, beautiful. And so we're going to use tan. Okay, so SOHCAHTOA, opposite and adjacent, tan. Okay, load her up. Now just be careful with this O on top. It's not the number O, it's opposite. And if you think you're going to do something silly, write OP or OPP up there instead. We're going to load the information in, tan 50. R is the opposite, that's on top, and 4 is the adjacent, that's on bottom. And then you know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to multiply it up to the other side. Okay, there we go. And if you remember, I said that I like to load mine in as 4 times, oh, that's a nice color, tan 50. Must use that one again. On my calculator, when you do that, you're going to get 4.8 centimeters. Choice. Very nice. By the way, if you wanted to find out the hypotenuse, can you realize that you could just now go and use Pythagoras because you've got 2 short sides? Cool, eh? And if you wanted the other angle, you could do that too because angles add up to 180. So basically, I've solved an entire triangle with one short move. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Lovely. Oh, here we go. Last triangle. So here we go. I've got the hypotenuse and I've got the opposite. Okay. All right, so pretty obvious what that is, right? Opposite and hypotenuse. Sine, you got it. Okay. Load up the triangle. Be careful with that O again. Remember what I said earlier? Because you don't want to put O into your calculator because it will screw everything up. Load the information in. There we go. Sine 25 equals K, or you could, over 12. What happens to that 12 again? That's right. It multiplies up to the front. And again, remember, I'm going to use that funky color again. 12. I put it in as 12 sine 25. It just stops the calculator thinking these two are together. All right. Okay, so sometimes the calculator can, if you don't get the brackets right, it kind of screws it up a little bit. Okay, and if you have a look, you've got 5.1 centimeters. Pretty easy, huh? All right, cool. You know what to do. Go find the work and get going. See you later.